Hello, everybody, and welcome to our EcoTalk panel. My name is eco activist and creator Trash Caulin. I go by he, him. Those are my pronouns. And today I am joined with these lovely ladies. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, starting with Sabrina.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sabrina. My pronouns are she, her, and I make accessible environmental content on TikTok, and Instagram under the account Sabrina Sustainable Life. I'm also one of the co-founders of EcoTalk. Through my content, I share tips on how to live a more sustainable life, how to be more eco-friendly, and inspire and educate others on how they can do better for the planet.
Hi, my name is Doria. I am a sustainable content creator as well as a sustainability professional in my day life. I like to make content primarily on energy and some like BIPOC activism. And I'm really excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Christine. I go by the pronouns she, her. My TikTok account is eco.amical. I also go by eco-friendly actress on Instagram and YouTube. I do a lot of DIY, sustainable DIYs, like making my own makeup, and I make a lot of kombucha too. So a lot of DIY content, and I am primarily an actress, content creator. I also own a business selling my own handmade cosmetics.
Awesome. It is so wonderful to be here on this panel with you guys today. So this is an EcoTalk panel, which I'm actually a part of as well. We all know each other very well, I would say. For the past 2 years, we've gotten to know each other. So let's just start off with Sabrina. Why don't you let us know, as an eco and a co-founder of EcoTalk, how did EcoTalk get started? What is EcoTalk, and how did we find ourselves here today?
Yeah, so back in 2020, there weren't a lot of environmentalists on TikTok. And if you were an environmentalist, you probably knew everyone else who was. So one of our co-founders, Alex Silva, came up with the idea. He wanted to start an environmentalist group TikTok page. We wanted to be something more than just a dancing app. We wanted to create something that was educational and inspirational. So a few of us got started in a group chat, made a couple calls, and from there we came up with the EcoTalk name. I started the TikTok page, and we put out our first video in July of 2020. We originally started with 9 members, and now we're at 19. So we've really just continued to grow since then.
And it's crazy how all of us kind of found each other too. It almost seemed like it all just kind of happened out of nowhere. So this is a question for Doria and Christine. How did you guys find yourselves getting involved in EcoTalk, and along what process did you, find EcoTalk as a group? We'll start with Christine.
So Alex Silva contacted me through Instagram, and he was saying, do you want to be a part of this eco hype house? And I was like, of course. I didn't know many people in my real life that really cared for the planet. So it was something really cool. And I had no idea where it would take us. But that's how I got involved.
That's great. And how about you, Doria?
My process was a little bit like more me forcing my way into EcoTalk. So EcoTalk published their first video, I think on July 14th. And I was like one of the first people to see it. So I liked it and I commented on it. Then I promptly sent EcoTalk my resume, and I was like, I need to be a part of this. And they let me in. So I think that's how I started.
That's awesome. So Doria, just following up on that question, what has it been like working with a group of people who are actively kind of pushing the same message as you? We're all doing it in slightly different ways, but what has it been like joining a group who all, we all care about this and we're all kind of working at this in different ways? How has that helped you as a creator stay motivated?
Oh, well, it helps me create better content. There are so many creators in EcoTalk. If I have an idea, I can just send it to the group chat, and then 20 people might help me flesh out that idea and make it even better. It's also been incredibly enlightening. I am all about the environment, but I didn't have as much experience with like veganism, but there are a ton of vegan creators on EcoTalk that set me straight and tell me like, Doria, this is what it's all about. You might have it a little bit wrong there. So it definitely has helped my content, and it has helped me as an environmentalist as a whole. And I'm very appreciative of that organization.
I could totally relate to that too. Going into EcoTalk, I was not vegan. And then reading all those messages, it's definitely pushed me into that lifestyle. And I love it. It's great. And then this is a question for Sabrina, kind of piggybacking off of that. Like, you make wildly different content than Doria. Doria makes wildly different content than Christine. But how have we all taken this same message and been able to, speak about it in our own ways? How have you found it? How have you found your own personal way of speaking on this? And how has it felt working with other creators, like Doria said, that may touch on other areas of sustainability that you haven't been able to?
Yeah, I think that's like one of the most beautiful things about EcoTalk is it merges so many different people, backgrounds, approaches to climate action, but we all have the same goal. And I think that is like the best thing about it. And I think we all respect each other's niches and interests. But like Doria said, like I've learned so much. I don't come from a scientific background, so having the folks in EcoTalk that do, I've really learned so much from them. It's extremely diverse, and yeah, kind of like Doria said as well, they've really have bettered me as a person. I could definitely say every person has touched my life and taught me something. So I think that's like genuinely one of the best parts of EcoTalk is the community that we have and the knowledge that we share with each other.
Definitely. And then Christine, moving on to you, there's this thing that I noticed, at least with my account, that sometimes I'll make a video on my personal account and then I'll make a video for EcoTalk, and I'll see some common names and some of the same audience members on each videos. How have you expected, or have you noticed how EcoTalk kind of is pushing this bigger community we're kind of funneling, all of our audiences into one platform, into one message? And how have you noticed your personal audience change because of this?
I think that a lot of our followers probably follow each other, like all of us. And to have them on EcoTalk, that's really great to see how much of an impact we can do, not just as one creator, but as all creators collectively. I find that being on EcoTalk has made me a lot smarter too. And to be able to bring all the knowledge that I learned from other creators onto my own account also, and to bring my personal personality onto EcoTalk has been great. So that's what I think, that it's been a positive on both sides.
Absolutely. So now transitioning to this, we all talked a lot of great stuff about working together and how easy it is to jump into the group chat and get help. But I want to shift over to Sabrina as a co-founder of EcoTalk. What are some challenges that you have found with this model of working with all of these different creators at once and trying to keep us all within the guidelines of like, we are EcoTalk?
Yeah, I think, since there are so many people, there's a lot of different opinions, personalities. It's just something very different. And I always try to keep it that everyone feels like their voice is being heard, that everyone has a say in the group. So it can be challenging just to find that balance of like making decisions and also keeping everyone's thoughts and opinions in mind as well. So that, I think that's definitely been a challenge, is just, keeping it balanced. You can't keep everyone happy all the time, unfortunately. But I definitely try my best.
I think you're doing a great job too, because like I said, we're all working on the same message. So it's easy to kind of like get lost in the shiny things, but it's great. You do a great job of keeping us on track and making sure everybody's like in the right area and doing what they're doing. So like, just props to you on that one. And then moving to Doria, I think it's so fascinating how you already had like a career in the government and working, in energy as a scientist for the government, before you even got onto TikTok. What made you feel like you wanted to educate through social media, and why did you choose TikTok?
That is an awesome question, Caulin, because I have asked myself that as well. I started off on social media as a decor creator, which had nothing to do with my job. I bought a house in 2019 and just started decorating it and posting it on social media. So that's when I built like the first of my following. And then when COVID hit, I just got really bored. Lumber got expensive, couldn't do as many projects. So I was like, maybe I should post more about what I like to do. And seeing EcoTalk fly up on July 14th, I realized, wait, there is a niche here for environmental content. And that's really what ramped up what I did on social media. And I really do think it's because of EcoTalk.
That's so cool. And so like, how have you noticed, or how do you feel about spreading or educating on social media? Do you feel like it's kind of where things are taking a turn, or do you think it's just kind of something that is still being tested to see if it truly will hold its weight in the long run?
Oh, it's definitely going to hold its weight in the long run. People like that short video content to kind of get them an idea that they might not understand quickly. I find doing this work very rewarding because I get to connect with so many different people in so many different places that feel the same way that I do. So I don't see this type of work going away.
Absolutely. Cool. And so Christine, on the flip of that, you do not have a scientific background, neither do I. So this question is, how have you been able to find your role in this space without having a scientific background? How have you been able to merge your content into a way where you're still educating without necessarily having to have a degree in this?
I wanted to make it really easy for an average person to understand how they could reduce waste. When I grew up and I went to high school, I was part of the environmental group, and we did a lot of upcycling, and that's where I had my love for like DIY. So I think that whatever I show, it's making food out of food waste, just remaking something out of something you would have thrown away, was just something so accessible to anyone that didn't have a lot of money, or they could feel like they're doing something for the planet too.
So as an individual without a non-scientific background, what do you feel your role is in educating? Because I know, like, same, I'm in the same boat as you. I do get a lot of comments of like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, or sometimes this imposter syndrome kind of seeps in from not having that background. So where do you think we fit in a role of, just as we're normal everyday people, do we continue just to talk about this because we care? Or like, how do you feel about this?
At first, I thought it was really scary to talk about the environment because I'm not a scientist, but I think everyone has a place to be able to do something to change, to make little changes. And as long as we're willing to educate ourselves and learn from other people, I think that's the best way to go. So for me, when I'm making a video, I often research before and give information that way. Or I'll try to refer to other articles that I read to point to like what I learned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your content is so fun and engaging too. And I think it's because, of course, you have this fun entertainment, background to you. You do come from the entertainment industry. So,
yeah.
As a side, like following up on that, where do you think the entertainment industry specifically could work on being more sustainable?
So as a professional actress, when I go to set, they do tell us to bring a reusable water bottle so we can fill our own. So that's a really good start. We still have things they still serve things in styrofoam and plastic forks. So I think that they could change in that sense. Most of our lunches are still catered, which is great, but any snacks, they're going to still give plastic. So I do think that they're changing, but there's more to be done too.
So, Sabrina, I want to shift back to you now, I've been waiting to ask this question all night. So as an EcoTalk co-founder, there's got to be some behind the scenes challenges that, may not be at the forefront of people's minds when they're watching our TikToks. I want to kind of touch on that. What are some of the things that you have to deal with behind the scenes that maybe not everybody knows about?
Yeah, for sure. I think, EcoTalk, it's much more than just managing a social media account. Just like any small business, I wear a lot of different hats. From day to day, I'm managing the inbox, doing our accounting, handling our social media accounts, handling partnerships, hosting and attending meetings with, external people and EcoTalk. So running the operation side of EcoTalk is definitely like a full-time job. And I think a lot of people really don't realize it because, you know, they don't see what's going on behind the scenes, but it's very busy for sure.
So that's a great segue into this next question. Speaking of hiring people to kind of run the behind the scenes, is EcoTalk profitable? I get this question a lot, and for EcoTalk, so I would love to have you speak on it. How does that work?
Yeah, so you know, we've had a few times where creators were able to make income based on like partnerships, panels, making content for other brands, doing ads. However, on EcoTalk, our goal is to really stick to educational content, which doesn't tend to pay as frequently. So not super profitable. A lot of our, you know, my work and the creators' work is very volunteer basis. So we've had, you know, some things in the past for sure, which have been amazing opportunities, but a lot of it is just because everyone's super passionate about it and wants to be involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doria, have you personally been able to make any of like money through making educational content, or do you find that a lot of the money that you make through TikTok comes from, like Sabrina said, doing ads for brands?
So I would say it's a mix. Like I recently just got an amazing opportunity to advise a company as well as make content for them using the expertise that I already had in addition to content making, which is really cool. I do run some ads on my page, but I also have done some posts for campaigns to get people into like young people to create ideas for the MIT Innovation Challenge. So that was really fun. Also, there's like one thing that stuck in my mind that I wanted to say if I got the opportunity, and that's I know that you guys don't have a scientific background, but Lois Gibbs from Love Canal had absolutely no scientific background. Dr. Martin Luther King, a huge environmentalist, by the way, absolutely no scientific background, but you can be a real change maker for the environment and not have that education. I think that who you guys are as people and the inspiration you give and the time that you take to research your content really says a lot, and you should not have imposter syndrome. But I'll let you take it back,
I
Caulin.
needed that.
Thank
Thank you, Doria. Yeah, no, that's great. And I totally agree. I believe that this is a space for everybody to speak through their passion. And I see that just lined up on this panel right here for surely. So I guess I just want to close out the question for, this is going to be a question for all of us. Starting with Christine, where do you see the future of EcoTalk headed?
I see the future of EcoTalk attending more events like this one, like the Hollywood Climate Summit, and just being able to inspire and educate the younger generation, the current generation, and just being involved in making a difference. I just see that as our future.
Absolutely. And Sabrina, how do you feel the future of EcoTalk is rolling out?
Yeah, kind of like what Christine said. I feel like even though we've been around for two-ish years, we're still like pretty new, and we've already had so many great opportunities. I really feel like the sky is the limit. I think just continuing to grow within ourselves and our audience, we continue to like impact others and spread our knowledge and information. But yeah, I really see us continuing to grow. Very excited for what the future holds.
And for you, still on this question for you, Sabrina, do you think it would be great for EcoTalk to expand more as like a platform for more eco creators to join in, or do you see EcoTalk taking a turn where it's more of a place where, you know, we're an entity specifically researching and educating through that? Is there a hope that you see EcoTalk expanding into something bigger like that?
It's a good question. I feel like it could go either way. I feel like we're always, you know, open to more people coming on board and having more diverse voices. I like kind of Christine said, everyone has a place. I don't think there can be too many environmentalists speaking on these topics. So would never, you know, want to like shut that down. I think right now the reason why we haven't really added any more people is just like more of a administrative part of it. But I think if, we got more help on that front, we could definitely continue to add people. Would love to, have more people involved in our community. But yeah, I think there could be a lot of different ways it could go. I'd love to see more opportunities for potentially funding or, just finding ways to support ourselves so we can all continue to do this type of work, because I know that can be a challenge for a lot of us.
Absolutely. So Doria, I'm going to change the question a little bit for you to close it out. If this was a perfect world and you could have any future play out how you would like, where would you see EcoTalk sitting in your perfect future?
Wow. In my perfect future, I'd like to go above and beyond. So in EcoTalk, I don't just see environmental creators. I see amazing activists. I see future industry leaders. I see senators. I see people who have the ability to make a huge change for their community. So in my perfect world, I see EcoTalk and all the creators going on to evolve into being their best selves and having the careers that they really deserve and that really have an impact on the planet. And I also see EcoTalk becoming a community where people who do have that type of future go to have their voice heard and then grow their career as well.
I love that so much. It's been great too, just to see like through collaborating and like through of us all working together, how many different ideas, videos have come out of that, and just like friendships as well. It's really great. So that's all of the questions I had for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining this panel and speaking about EcoTalk and all the great, wonderful things we do. It's so wonderful to see you guys, and thanks for joining the panel.